It's time for a winter motorhome tour. Well, hello and welcome back to Posh Cats Camping. It's December and as promised we are all year round campers. Well, it's hardly camping, is it? We go in Bertie the Badger. Warm and cosy in there. It's just a little bit of setting up that you need and getting to the sites, I suppose. It's a difficult part, but with a little bit of planning and a little bit of common sense and watching the weather forecast, usually we don't have too much trouble. So it's preparation time. We've got one or two little jobs to do, so let's get started on those. So here's the release for the engine compartment. Got over 1,000 miles to drive on this particular tour, so I'm going to check the hydraulic fluids here and here with the blue and the yellow cap. I'm also going to check the dipstick here for oil and top up here if I need a little, and also probably most importantly for driving is to make sure that this little blue cap here is topped up with windscreen washer fluid and some de-ice so that it doesn't freeze. We then come round to the wheels. As before, did a video on this before the last trip, the last long trip that is. I'm going to make sure those tyres are inflated to the correct pressures and give the van a good wash. So that's the first of our few jobs to do. Now in the side of the motorhome we've got a very useful wet locker, which I call my man cave. And inside here is all sorts of things. I've just got the chemicals out, the blue loo, the green eco loo, some pink rinse and some tank fresh for the grey tanks. Those chemicals live in here, and there's also toolkits, torch, pegs, various shapes and sizes, and a few spares. Also, at winter time I always make sure that I've got a new pair of gloves for those jobs outside, a mitt which is for cleaning the headlights, windscreen, windows, that sort of thing, tail lights. Just pop that mitt on and give the wipes a clean over from time to time. Screen wash, a bottle of screen wash which is a concentrate that you can put in with the windscreen wash water, a can of de-icer, a lock de-icer which is good at squirting into the locks just if you go out, take it with you, and then some spray oil. This one's WD-40. I've also got a box here with some straps, and these come off an old awning. I just hung on to them, Outdoor Revolution straps, really handy for strapping things down if you get windy. The extra little bit of rope for the same purpose really. I've got a collapsible shovel. Not going to be digging big holes with it, but it could get you out of trouble if you get sort of stuck in a bit of soft mud. Really important to have a good tow rope, and this one's a 4-ton, 4,000 kilogram tow rope. It's a rugged one. It's a one that we used to have with the Range Rover when we towed our caravan. Couple of collapsible buckets in case you need to go and get some warm water, and some mats that you can slide underneath the tyres and pin to the ground to try and get you out of a muddy or slippery spot. Also buried in that hatch in there is some strong, very thick and strong jump leads which are sufficient to get the diesel engine started should it decide not to. So there are a few things that we have tucked away in the cupboard for winter motorhoming. In terms of heating, gas and electricity is used for heating our motorhome and staying warm. Now we are heavily reliant on these electric cables for heat and power over the coming week. We're away for 11 nights, so we don't want to have any chance of fail. So I've checked the ends, they all look very good and tidy. Usual blue connectors on each end. There's no fraying and no signs of water damage in the ends. But what I did notice is that at some point the cable has been run over, and there are a couple of areas on this cable which have got, I don't know if you can see that, but they've got some quite nasty scuff marks and bruising. It's not, the outer sheath of the cable is not broken, but it is quite crushed. I'm a little bit concerned about that, so I'm gonna either get myself another length of this cable, it's a 25 metre lead, or I'm going to buy a new one. And if I do buy a new one, I shall cut these plugs off and keep them as spares. Or I might just run out the cable and see where the damage is and shorten it. But my fear is that this damage, it's in a couple of places actually, and I think this damage is probably halfway along the cable, which is typical really, isn't it? And I've just found some more de-ice here, which I'm going to put in the van. Another job that I always do when storing the van over winter, or when on a winter tour, is to apply the winter covers to these vents. So this is the fridge freezer vents. I'm now going to apply these winter covers to those vents. And I'm going to swap the reserve bottle, the 6 kilogram Lite. I'm going to swap that for a full one, and I'm about to put the main 13 kilogram propane bottle onto the van. Oh, it's pretty cold out here this morning. We've had a pretty sharp frost overnight, and everywhere was white. Tops of the cars, motorhome, the grass, the lawn out the front, everything, the trees were pretty frosty. So it's quite a late morning now, and we're waited for that frost to ease a bit, which it has now. And I'm going to get a bucket out and just give the van a splosh and a wash down. I'd like to start with a clean van. I know it's going to be a pretty mucky drive as we head north, but I feel better if we start off a clean van. Sue's going to come out with the clothes and a few bits and pieces and extra things that we normally pack for winter, and I'll talk to you about that when Sue's in the van. She's also going to hoover through with the vacuum cleaner, and here she comes now. I'm just going to open the door for her. Yeah. What you got then, girl?
Your underpants.
Oh. I hadn't better film that then, had I? There's a few other little bits and pieces I've been scratching around for a while. I couldn't find a vanity mirror for the sun visor, but I managed to find these, and you can see they're written in Chinese, look. But they were from eBay, and I think they're about £3 or £4 each. Took an eternity for them to arrive, but they turned up the other day. So I've got 2 of those. I'll fit those on the sun visor. This is a phone holder which matches the one that we've got on my side. Sue wanted to have one for her phone as well. We've got 1 or 2 Christmas decorations, come to that later. And the essential doggy bags for cleaning up, well, you know what. Okay, well, over on the front of the van here, as you can see, I did a video on this last summer. This is my phone holder here, and because we pull these blinds across here on the front windscreen, you can't stick anything to the windscreen really. We do have a removable dash cam, there she goes again, look. Which we fit on around here somewhere on the windscreen, and I have got a suction pad that I can put my Hero 7 Black, the GoPro on, but Sue would like one to match on this side, so we're going to fit that to the top of the dashboard here with the suction pad. Rather like that one. We'll do that in a moment. And these are the little pads here, look, sun visor. So we'll put a vanity mirror on there for Sue. There we are. That's a little phone holder, matching my one over here. And there we go with the vanity mirrors. One there. And one there. Topping up tea bags.
Yes, I'm just going around looking at what I need to get. Shower gel and kitchen roll, all the usual tea bags.
Yeah.
That you have to top up.
Right.
We put the clothes in.
Yeah.
I'm going to hoover, because I use a little hand vacuum cleaner, but that doesn't do it as well, so I'm going to use the upright cleaner.
Okay. Got the Aldi heating on, haven't we?
Got the heating on, and then Monday we're going to do the food shop and put the food in.
Yes. Yeah. So we're going to put the fridge on tonight in the freezer?
No, I'll put it on Monday.
Yeah. Probably don't need it.
Electric.
It's colder outside than it is in our fridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of warm things, so I put rather a lot of clothes in.
Scarves, hats.
So it's a bit of a squish, finding space for everything.
Yeah.
But it's going to be cold, so we need to have a selection of warm things to wear.
Well, we made it to Asda, and we had some letters to deliver on the way. I'm spying on you. Two trolleyfuls, one for the motorhome and one for the house, and we're separating them by putting some in the back of the car. because we have to have sufficient shopping for our son, who stays at home while we go away. So the fridge is all stocked up now, and the freezer too, and little Ethel is waiting out here to be hitched up. I'm just going to top up with some fresh water and put some fresh water in the tanks. Not going to fill it right to the top because it's quite a long journey, but make sure that we've got sufficient water to get us started on site, and then we can be on our way. So it just remains for me to say Merry Christmas again, really, and we'll see you in York on our next video, which should be on Friday. So we'll see you then. Bye for now.